So recently, Tom Taylor announced that he was taking over the Titans book, which I just heard about this the other day. I think he just tweeted about it the other day. But it's fantastic news because he knows what he's doing with Nightwing, and the fact that they're making Nightwing this like the main character of DC right now is really great. Um, you know, I always struggle with picking my favorite Robin. I've always loved Tim Drake. He was the one who was Robin when I was a kid, and whenever I would read Batman, it was always him. But there's something about Dick Grayson, like him being Robin and then becoming Nightwing, and just I guess probably maybe I like him because he's just so like down to earth, but also like relatively well adjusted. Like he's not as crazy as like Batman, but just him being in the forefront of DC is a really great move. Finally, him leading the Justice League now. It's really great. I'm super excited. And now Tom Taylor is doing Teen Titans or just Titans, and it looks great. I'm super excited. I'm definitely going to read it. It's coming out in like April or June. I don't remember when it's coming out. I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. It's coming out in a couple months, and I'm so excited. And I think the team, like I don't remember exactly who's on the team, but it looks like Nightwing and Beast Boy and Wally is on the team, and Donna Troy, probably Cyborg and Starfire and Raven. I think Raven's definitely on it. But I think it's just a pretty basic, back to basics for the Titans, and I'm super excited for it. So uh, hopefully it's good. I have no doubt it's going to be good. So welcome to a brand new episode of The Pull List, a weekly comic book podcast where we talk about the brand new releases that come out each week, and I tell you if you should read them or skip them. And we had a pretty decent week. I'd say literally everything I read, except for one thing, and everybody knows what it is, but except for one thing, I thought was really great. I only picked up 5 books this week, and next week is going to be an even shorter week. I think I'm only picking up 2 books. But yeah, so let's jump right into it. We got a nice little plethora from Marvel and DC today. And we're going to start off with the weakest link, and everybody knows it's The Amazing Spider-Man number 18 by Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness. This is the final Dark Web tie-in. Thank God. It has been a wild ride, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because overall I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it's just stupid. It is a stupid book, and nothing in it makes any sense. Like, it is just ridiculous. That being said, there were some cool things in this issue. I thought the art was really great. Ed McGuinness, he just knows what he's doing. He knows how to make a fun looking book. The X-Men show up at the end. I don't want to spoil what happens in it, I don't do spoilers, but man, like something just egregiously stupid happens at the end of this book. And I am going to spoil it because it's dumb. It's dumb, and I haven't been reading the X-Men tie-ins. I read the first one, and I enjoyed it, and I just never read any more. I haven't been reading Venom, so I don't know the full story, nor do I want to. But so okay, here's the spoilers for this issue. Like halfway through the issue, Madeline Pryor, the villain of this, decides, hey, you know what? I don't want to be the villain of this story. So then Ben Reilly becomes the Goblin King, and it's so dumb. It is so stupid. And he picks up like the demon scythe or whatever, I forget the name of it, and he gets super jacked, and it's just like, what are we doing? What is this? It's so silly. It's so absurd and dumb. And some people probably are enjoying it. I'm kind of enjoying it just because I can't wait to see like week to week. It's just been something more dumb than last week, but it's almost over, so I'm happy, but also, no, I'm just happy. I'm just happy it's over. I know I'm very brutal to this series, but it's just because I care about Spider-Man. Um, but yeah, so this book is $3.99. Dark Web is almost over, and yeah, we can finally celebrate. So the next book I'm going to talk about is Detective Comics number 1068, and I have not talked about Detective Comics at all on this book. I mentioned it last week, not on this book, on this podcast. I mentioned it last week, and this issue, just like all the issues so far, starting in 1062 to now, have been fantastic. It has been a great series written by Ram V. or Romvi, and art by Raphael Albuquerque and others. It has just been so cool. And I highly recommend that everybody reads it because it's just so enjoyable. The art is fantastic. It's more of a supernatural story, which I really enjoy. You know, Batman is very detective-y, obviously, very dark and gritty, but this is like we're jumping into the supernatural territory, and it's so cool. Two Face is a really big character, and I'm loving that. Mr. Freeze showed up in the last couple issues. Really cool stuff. They introduced this new like ancient evil family from Gotham, and they're like the main antagonists of this, and it's really cool. And the art, like I said, it's if you know Raphael Albuquerque, you know that he's stellar, and it's just a fantastic book. So I can't recommend it enough. This book is $4.99, and just great. All right, and so now let's jump into Justice Society of America #2. This book is $3.99, written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Mikel Yannon, and I really enjoyed the first issue. Like I was surprised how much I enjoyed it because I've been kind of losing faith in Jeff Johns, but this has been really fun and really enjoyable. And the last issue saw Huntress hanging out with her ragtag team of the Justice Society with like Solomon Grundy and some other characters that should not be on the Justice Society. And here she is looking for Dr. Fate and ends up finding him, as well as the actual Justice Society with Jay Garrick and Alan Scott. And it is really cool. It is really cool. I love the Justice Society. They were my favorite part of Black Adam. I love the old Jeff Johns series, and I'm happy that, like, I can tell he's given this book his all. Like, he cares about these characters, and that's really great. You get a lot of fun stuff. You get a lot of fun stuff also. Mr. Miracle, the original one, not Scott Free, but he shows up. Yeah, I'm already kind of spoiling it, but it is just really great. I'm like Mikel Yannon, his art. Like I am not the biggest Mikel Yannon fan, but I gotta say, like he's doing a great job. He is. It is very enjoyable. It is very cool. The colors also are really great. I think there were a couple other artists in this book as well, but overall, it is just an enjoyable series. It really is. I love that Huntress is the main character of the story, and that it's not main continuity Huntress. It's I forget what Earth this is. Probably Earth 2 or something, because that's where the Justice Society originally were from. Well, not originally, but Crisis and everything. So it's not the Helena Bertinelli Huntress, it's the Helena Wayne Huntress, and it just adds something cool to the whole story. And I'm super excited. I can't wait to see where this goes. I don't know if it's gonna be like an ongoing series or if it's gonna wrap up at like issue 6 or something. I kind of hope it just keeps going because it's a lot of fun. Okay, and next up we have Action Comics 1051. This is the first issue in the Dawn of DC, first supersized issue, that's what it's called. And this book is $4.99, written by Dan Jurgens, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Leah Williams, with art by a whole bunch of people. And you know what? I'm super excited. I love Superman. I really do. I loved Superman Rebirth, just everything with him and John Kent. And I felt like when Bendis showed up, really just ruined it, in my opinion. I did not enjoy Superman by Bendis. So this is the dawn of a new age for Superman, and they're taking a little page out of the Batman book and doing the Superman family, or the Super Family. So you got characters like Supergirl and Connor and John, and the new Superman that they introduced in Superman or in Rebirth. I forget his name, but he's the Superman of China, I believe, and it's just really, really cool. And so the main villain of this story arc looks like it's going to be Metallo. And I feel like I haven't seen Metallo in forever. But it's really great having him as the main villain. I can't wait to see where this goes. There's a couple backups in this. There's one, I believe it's called Head Like a Hole, maybe, and it's the Power Girl backup. And it's, you know what, it's really cool. The art's really great. All the art in all the stories here are really fantastic. I love the little conversations and just the banter between all the super people. Like it's really, really great, and I can't wait to see where it goes. It's been a while since I've been on the Superman hype train, but I'm back on it. I'm so happy to be back on it. I can't wait to see the other Superman titles that are going to be coming out, because This was really, really good. Like, it wasn't fantastic, it wasn't stellar. Yeah, it's issue one, you know? And while some issue ones could be really fantastic and really great, this did its job. It pulled you in, and at least it pulled me in, and I really want to just keep on reading. And so the final book we're going to talk about today is Sins of Sinister #1. This book is written by Kieran Gillen and art by Travel Foreman with a whole bunch of other artists like Stefano Caselli and just a whole bunch of people. The art in this book is great. The cover price is $5.99. And so if you're like me, you haven't really been enjoying everything X-Men that's been going on. Like, I read a lot of the Hickman stuff when it first happened. It was fine. It was decent, but there were just a lot of things that stuck out to me that I just did not enjoy. But I really did enjoy the idea of all the mutants being together on an island. I thought it was a really cool and unique premise for a story. A lot of the other inner workings to it just weren't for me. But some other series like X-Men Red, I thought were phenomenal. Immortal X-Men was great. And now it's not a X-Men book per se, but Axe Judgment Day, I also really enjoyed it, and this takes place after Judgment Day. And if you haven't read everything X-Men, then you're going to be totally lost. You're going to have no idea what's going on in this book. But, like, I haven't read everything X-Men, but I've read enough. I know what's going on. And this book was really great. I am surprised at how much I actually really enjoyed this. Mr. Sinister has always been my favorite X-Men villain besides Magneto. There's just something crazy about him. And now he has this whole event about him. And it's so cool. And this book is 52 pages. So there is a lot that happens in here. And I don't want to spoil everything. But Mr. Sinister definitely lives up to his name. And it looks like it's going to be this sprawling, crazy, cool event. There are other spin-offs coming out. Or maybe not even spin-offs, but just the next chapters in the story, like one is called Nightcrawlers, one is Storm and the Brotherhood. There's Immoral X-Men instead of Immortal. I think that's kind of funny. But I'm really excited for all of those. Nightcrawlers looks really cool. Now, I love Nightcrawler. He is my favorite X-Men, him or Colossus. I'm always back and forth. And here are mild spoilers for what happens in this issue. But so Mr. Sinister is like this crazy geneticist, he's always experimenting. And he does some crazy things in this book. And one of them is to Nightcrawler, right? Sinister has infiltrated the council on Krakoa. And Nightcrawler is a council member. And at one point in the story, Storm, she's like, this is not Nightcrawler. She knows that it's not Nightcrawler. And then Mr. Sinister walks in with the actual Nightcrawler, who is like this deformed, like scary looking monster. And if that's like what the Nightcrawler's story is going to be, just different crazy clones and monster versions of Nightcrawler. Like, I know on the cover it looks like there's a Wolverine Nightcrawler. That looks really interesting. But I'm super excited. Also, Storm, she's being rebellious, Like, we know that Storm is a badass. Like, everyone has known that. And then in X-Men Red, she just proves herself to be even more cool than we expected. And here she is really like causing trouble for everybody. Not like everyone in this book is practically a villain now, except for Storm, who's like breaking away. And it's just really cool. And the idea that she renamed the X-Men Red the Brotherhood, just so cool, and I love it. And now Storm and the Brotherhood looks like it's shaping up to be really cool. I am loving what they're doing with Storm. I can't say that for every other X-Men character, but the stuff they're doing with Storm, like, they know that Storm is a fan favorite, and they do not want to mess her up. And I really appreciate that, because Storm is like, honestly, I never think about how much I really love Storm, but recently I can't help but to think like she is top 5 X-Men. But yeah, like I really enjoyed this issue. I thought it was really great. I thought the art was fantastic. There are a lot of one-page splashes here. I don't think there are any double-page splashes, but there are just like full pages of art and just crazy sinister stuff going on. And it's so cool. This book honestly blew my mind, and it's really great having an X-Men book that I could say I thoroughly enjoyed fully. besides like X-Men Red. But this is just I'm super excited that I actually really enjoyed this. Like Kieran Gillen knows what he's doing. He does. Like now from now on, anytime I see Kieran Gillen's name on an X-Men book, I'm going to read it because I feel like he just knows what I want, and that's awesome. But yeah, so now this is the part of the show where I recommend books that are coming out next week, the first week in February, February 1st, actually. And I have a very small week. Only 2 books are coming out that I'm going to pick up. And of course, the first one is Dark Web, the finale, #1. This book is going to be $4.99. And man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this wraps up. And I can't wait to see just, you know, I can't wait to go to the comic book store and not have to pick up a Dark Web book again because it has been excruciating. But I've been in it. That's all I can say. I've been going to the store week after week picking up Dark Web stuff, and it has been a wild ride. And I'm so excited to be done. But and the other book I'm going to pick up is Silver Surfer Ghostlight #1. This book's $3.99. I have no idea what this is, but I love Silver Surfer, so I'm going to pick this up. I don't have any DC books or any Image books that are coming out. I don't know. It's a weird week for DC where like no #1s, no other books that I am currently reading are coming out. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do for next week besides talk about those 2 comics because it's gonna be a kind of short episode. I feel like this was a short episode too. These episodes have been getting shorter and shorter. Oh, actually, not. It's like normal time. But yeah, so thank you all so much for listening and watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And if you read these, let me know what you think about them. I thought a lot of these, I thought all of them were really great, and I recommend everything. I'll even recommend The Amazing Spider-Man just because, it's Dark Web. If you're reading it, you're going to want to read it. But yeah, so thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you guys next Sunday.